But I feel like they're necessary on this album to give it some tempo and to give it
I
some
see that.
youth and to give it some non-intricate feel.
Hmm.
Like it's not complicated. There was a pretty young girl. It's like literally the simple part of the album.
Yeah.
Blue Bentley, like simple, like that's the simple part of the album. Um,
It's also the pretty young girl's also winking at PYT too, like in the title and everything else. Like
correct, correct,
it's a that way too, kind of tying back to the Michael and Quincy. I mean, it kind of is
right.
pulling those threads.
And they've made a song called Michael and Quincy together. So those were some of my thoughts too. Like on that deeper level of thought, it's like, well, if we're Michael and Quincy, it's like, well, they made PYT. Let's make PYG.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and plus, you can't. I mean, imagine in today's time, like not being funny, a rapper saying PYT because
Hmm.
what's it stand for?
Yeah.
Now tell me how the female populace would take that today. Because to be honest with you, like Mike got away with that shit because he's Mike and it was a different time. You would not get away with that now.
Yeah.
And so there's that level of thought where they're like, well, we can't redo PYT because we live in cancel culture, central era.
Right.
Right. Um, People love sitting with my thoughts. I love the writing more than I love the record.
Yeah. I can get behind that too. Like it's not when I listened to it back the last couple days, like I wasn't paying attention like individual tracks. No tears jumped out at me when I was re-listening to it again. Um I liked Wayne's verse on Never Die better than I did the original time. The first times I listened to it, I was kind of like, eh. And and the more I listen to it, I'm like, this is I like it because it's different than anything else on the album too. It's a change.
Right.
It's a
That's
change.
what I was telling you. Like that's why it's the feature of the year as opposed to J. Cole's being the verse of the year because it's totally different than anything else provided to you on the album.
Yeah.
But, and this is what I'm saying. So too often, great MCs get together, and the
Hmm.
guy who goes first, the second guy just picks up his cadence and goes.
And this is something completely different.
This is something completely different. Like this is what's beautiful about that record.
Mhm.
You can hear how great the two individual MCs are separately because they heard the same beat totally differently, and it shows
Yeah.
in their rhyme style and patterns in delivery. You know
Hmm.
what I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
like Wayne's almost like riding riding like the drum every other bar. When
Hmm.
Nas is like riding the fucking snare.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they're doing it on the same song. That's what makes it like, oh, like what a treat. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Really cool to hear because it took me a while to realize that they were on the same beat. Like it was on the same. The beat doesn't change from first half to second half, but they're doing completely different from it. Like it's like taking the same chord progression and playing wildly different guitar solos. I mean, it's the same
Right.
kind of
And
thing. And we've talked a lot about like old folk songs or old 12 bar blues songs and that kind of thing about when we talked about other songs before. And the cool part is what people do with it that's different and new, right? And there's so many thousands of things you can do with it. And when you hear something that's like, oh, okay, it kind of perks your ear up when you hear something a little new and different because there's so many roads that are ridden over and over and over and over again. You just kind of like, okay, this is good, but like whatever. But when you hear something that's a little bit different, or somebody's taking something old and twisting it a little bit, then that kind of perks my ear up anyway.
what's great about the record is that what makes them both icons,
Yeah.
they did what made them icons on that record. Like Wayne is known more for his uncanny delivery.
Yeah.
Nas is more known for his intricate word usage and wordplay. Guess what they're doing on the
They
song?
both thing. Yeah.
They both did what they do well on the song. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, Wayne, got the best of Nas. And it's like, I actually think that it's a draw because what I want to hear from a record is for MCs of their stature, which is the highest of the high. These are A-listers.
Yeah.
These are people at the top of the A list. I want to hear what they do well when you do it together because we don't get that. Like I enjoy that Wayne record almost more than any Nas Jay-Z pairing because it's like it's too close. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
they're very different kind of MCs. Like, but the two of them are very different, and they're doing. Yeah, TJ says I wouldn't mind a few more Nas and Wayne songs. Like, I agree. Like, that would be
dude,
fun. It'd be a fun thing to hear. Like,
no, I would like to hear that more because it was like, man, I wasn't expecting that to come off that well.
yeah,
Like I expect Office Hours with 50 Cent to go well. 50 is known Nas way before he had a deal, and I'm pretty certain knowing Nas had something to do with him getting his first deal with Columbia before M and Dre came along. So it's like, no, I expect that record to sound a certain way. It's
hmm
like I expect, Nas to be able to rap well with Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I expect that. It's like Wayne. It's like, it's like fascinating. Hope